Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We've got bowl action. We've got Missouri playing Texas. And this one's on Wednesday. This is going to be Preston's best bet. I'm going to go to you first, Bryan. Missouri, second half of the season, this team was on fire. 6 straight wins, 7-1 against the spread. Wasn't against the best of competition, but boy, they were putting up some huge numbers offensively. What turned it around for this team?
You know, it's interesting because we went to the first Tuesday meeting and one of our colleagues, Ted Zaransky, he says, I've got some great information on Missouri. He said, we've got people that are part of the program and they're really going to speed up the pace this year. They're going to have as many plays as possible. And if you remember, they played South Carolina in that first game and I liked the under. And he goes, no, they're going to be putting up. Well, it ends up going under and I was giving them some crap for it. But as the season went on, they finally started getting the players in place that he wanted. And they started clicking. And, you know, a lot of people write off these coaches too soon. We've seen what has happened at Bowling Green when they've got a coach that does that. Syracuse, he's at Syracuse now, and knock off Clemson. I mean, it takes time to do all these things. And as the season went on, they just got better and better. And the kids love scoring. You love to run up scores, you know, and get a chance to get out on the field and play. That's going to be a place right now in the conference they're in where they're going to get some talent at Missouri because they play a different type of offense than most of the teams in that conference do. I think that was a good hire by Missouri, and it wouldn't surprise me if they continue. But now they're playing a Texas team who, and by the way, these two teams were in the same conference just a little while ago, Missouri should know Texas a little bit better, but since they did play them there, but Missouri is a totally different offense. We'll see how this works out, but it's a very good defense with an excellent coach going up against this Missouri team. So he does have extra time to prepare. So we'll see how this goes when you've got a team that has seen you on film as much as they have.
Yeah. Preston, obviously, they're going to look at this offense that Missouri's been running. I'm talking about Texas. But I go back and I look at the points that they've been scoring. And over that 6-game winning streak, they're averaging like 51 points a game during that streak. But that streak was compiled against Idaho, Connecticut, and then the teams that were just dismal in the SEC. Florida was, total disarray at the end of the season. Tennessee was a joke. Vanderbilt had a couple good games, but they still were bad. And then Arkansas, another team that fired their coach. And
they only won by 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is a team that the numbers look gaudy, but I don't like who they've done it against, and now you give a coach like Harmon as much time to prepare for this, and I know you're going to have some things to say about Harmon. It's yours.
Sure, yeah, so I like Texas. We already bet +3. It's 2.5 most places, but if you can find the 3, shop around. There's still a couple. But I still recommend it to people, if it moved off the 3, I think +2.5 is still worth a bet. And so I have them a slight favorite. If you wanted to go money line instead of 2.5, I think that's fine too. It's funny because that perception, I think the reason why Missouri is a favorite is because of this little run that they're on and because they've been scoring so many points. You look at Texas, they have 5 losses, but it's like on the road in overtime at USC. It's up against Oklahoma in the final 2 minutes and Oklahoma scoring and winning by 5. Overtime against Oklahoma State. Like, these are powerhouses. I think they lost against TCU by 2 touchdowns. It was the only game that wasn't that close. And their other loss, they were up 10 with 5 minutes at home in the season finale against Texas Tech. And when they're trying to run out the clock on 3rd down, they got tricky through the ball, and Ellinger threw a pick 6 basically to Texas Tech to go win the game. They've been in all of their games. Herman and Todd Orlando's defensive coordinator adjusted tremendously after their first game against Maryland, which was also still a close game, but they gave up a bunch of points. The defense has been one of the best in the country. They've played the 16th toughest schedule. We talked about Missouri. I think that when I looked there, like 60th. It's one of those two, and you can't quantify this, but I look at it for bowl season. And an example last year that I bet pretty big was Tulsa and their kind of, Montgomery coming over from Baylor and their offense, and last year especially being so good. It's a spread, more up-tempo, and they got to play a MAC team in Central Michigan that just never sees that, ever. And I don't care if you have 2 or 3 weeks to prepare for it, how good your scout team might be. You're just not ready for it until you get into the game and you see it. And sure enough, so we bet Tulsa minus the points first half and full game. It was just kind of a 2-bet game. And, I mean, they were up 49-0 at one point. I think CMU scored a touchdown at the end. This is one where you would say maybe similar, like the reason why Missouri does do well in the SEC in some of these spots is because the SEC doesn't really see offenses like Missouri's up-tempo, spreading it out, throwing a lot. Texas sees it every week, or at least every other week. They've played, and even some of their wins, at West Virginia, at Iowa State, they've just played at so many teams that I think are all better than Missouri. I don't know why they're getting points. I think they should be the small favorite, and I think the setup, the matchup, the coaching edge all goes to Texas too. So I like them quite a bit, especially if you can get the +3. It's definitely worth a solid.
I like the Texas side too, and I'm with you. I think the wrong team's favorite. I think totally overreacting to the SEC name and how many points that they're scoring.
Yeah, he hit on it. What I was going to say was very similar to the Kansas State that plays all these high-flying offenses.
All right, good stuff from Preston there. He says take Texas over Missouri. And guys, if you like the 3-day all-access, we'll make it even better. 7-day all-access package, just $99. Pick your favorite capper. Get all of their plays for 7 days. Guys, this next 7-day period coming up is going to be huge. You've got all the bowl games, you've got NBA action, you've got NFL in the final weeks, and you've got college basketball. Check it out. Find your favorite capper. Grab them for 7 days, $99. Save yourself. Use the coupon code Rogers10, and you can take $10 off as well. We'll be back next week. Guys, have a great Christmas. Thanks for tuning in and watching all of the videos. We'll be back next week at WagerTalk.com.